You already know what it feels like. That moment when you wake up and before your feet even hit the floor, something heavy is already sitting on your chest. Your mind is already running through 17 things you haven't done yet. You haven't even taken a breath, and you already feel behind. And then the day just keeps piling on top of that feeling until by the time the evening comes, you're not even tired in a normal way. You're depleted, you're foggy, you're sitting there staring at your phone or the ceiling and thinking, when did life start feeling this hard to keep up with? That's not weakness. That's not you being broken. That's what happens when nobody ever actually taught you how to manage the invisible weight that modern life drops on your nervous system every single day. And here's the thing, most people get completely wrong about stress. They think the solution is to do less, to slow down, to just take a vacation or sleep more. And then they try that, and the Monday after they get back from that trip, everything is exactly the same. Because the problem was never about the number of things on your plate. The problem is that your brain was never given the daily tools to process and release what it carries. That's what this is about. Practical, simple, deeply effective daily habits that science and psychology have confirmed actually work at quieting stress and restoring real mental focus. Not motivation hacks, not productivity tricks, real habits. And before we go deep into each one, I want you to know something. The people who are seeing the most dramatic transformations in their mental clarity and emotional resilience right now are the ones who stopped waiting to feel ready and started taking small but strategic steps toward a different daily reality. Here's someone who is serious about making that shift. We have related programs linked down in the video description right now that go far deeper than what we'll cover here today. People who go through them describe the experience as finally feeling like themselves again. But only you know if you're truly ready to do this differently. Most people will scroll past it, that's fine. But if you're not most people, that link will be there when you need it. Now let's get into this. The very first habit that changes everything is deceptively simple, and that's exactly why most people dismiss it without realizing what they're throwing away. The moment you wake up, before you touch your phone, before you open an app, before you speak to anyone, you spend 5 minutes just breathing slowly and deliberately with your eyes open or closed. It does not matter. Here's why this is not optional. Research consistently shows that the first few minutes after waking are when your brain's stress response system is most impressionable. If the first input into your nervous system is a notification, a news headline, or someone else's urgency, your cortisol, the primary stress hormone, spikes before your body has even had a chance to regulate itself from sleep. Over weeks and months, that spike becomes your baseline. You start the day in fight or flight before anything stressful has even happened yet. 5 deliberate minutes of slow breathing in the morning literally resets that biological pattern. Studies have shown reductions in perceived daily stress of up to 40% with consistent morning breathing practices over just 4 weeks. 40%. That's not a minor adjustment. That is a different life. Pattern interrupt. Stop right there for a second. Think about how much of your stress doesn't even belong to the current moment. It's either something that happened 3 days ago or something that might happen next week. Your brain is brilliant at protecting you, but it cannot tell the difference between an actual threat and a thought about a possible threat. So it responds to both exactly the same way. Tension in the shoulders, shallow breathing, racing thoughts, narrowed focus. And when that response never fully shuts off because your habits are constantly feeding it new material, your nervous system stays in a permanent state of low-grade emergency. That is not living. That is surviving. And you deserve better than just surviving. The second habit is one of the most underrated tools in human psychology, and it has been used by some of the highest performing minds in history. It is called a brain dump, and it takes exactly 10 minutes. Every evening before your body starts preparing for sleep, you take a piece of paper and you write down every single thing that is sitting in your head. Tasks, worries, random thoughts, fragments of conversations. Nothing is too small or too big. You just empty the mental storage onto the page. Here's what that does. Your brain's prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for focus and decision-making, has a limited working memory capacity. When you're trying to hold on to 17 unresolved mental items, that area of your brain is essentially running with a full load at all times, which means everything slows down, your thinking becomes cloudy, your decisions become reactive instead of thoughtful, and your ability to feel calm basically disappears. The brain dump offloads that storage. Externalized information is no longer something the brain needs to actively maintain. Multiple cognitive studies show improvements in sleep quality and next-day focus within the first 2 weeks of a consistent evening brain dump practice. 2 weeks. That is not a long time to wait for something to actually work. Here's where the real magic happens, And most people never get here because they give up on good habits before the compounding effect kicks in. When you pair the morning breathing practice with the evening brain dump, something shifts in your nervous system on a fundamental level. You start to create what psychologists call a regulated daily arc. Your day has a calm entry point and a clean exit point, and everything in between starts to feel more manageable because your nervous system is no longer in overdrive at both ends. This is exactly what people who seem to handle pressure effortlessly are actually doing that you don't see. It's not that they have less going on, it's that they've built a physiological container for their stress so it doesn't leak everywhere. The third habit is one that transforms mental focus faster than almost anything else, and that is strategic single tasking. This sounds so basic that your brain might be tempted to move past it. Do not. Neuroscience has demonstrated repeatedly that the human brain cannot truly multitask. What it does instead is rapidly switch between tasks, and every single switch costs cognitive energy. Studies from the University of California found that after being interrupted or switching tasks, it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully return to the original level of deep focus. 23 minutes. If you're switching tasks or getting interrupted 5 times a day, you've essentially lost nearly 2 hours of your best thinking without even noticing. Strategic single tasking means you choose one thing, you set a timer for 25 minutes, and you protect that time like it's the most important meeting of your life. Because it is. It's a meeting with your own potential. Pattern interrupt. Let that land for a second. The people who feel most in control of their lives, the ones who seem to move through chaos with an almost frustrating calm, are not superhuman. They have systems. They have daily habits that most people would dismiss as too simple to matter. And that dismissal is exactly the gap between where you are right now and where you want to be. Simple is not weak. Simple is sustainable. And sustainable is what actually changes your life. When these 3 habits, the morning breathing, the evening brain dump, and strategic single tasking, become woven into your daily reality, something remarkable begins to happen. The fog starts to lift. The chest tightness in the morning starts to ease. Your thoughts start to feel like something you can actually work with instead of something that's working against you. You start to feel like you again. And this is just the beginning of what's possible when you take this seriously. If something in this video has stirred something in you, if you're sitting there thinking that you've been waiting too long to feel like yourself again, the programs we've linked in the video description below are designed to take everything you've just discovered and build it into a complete, guided daily structure that works with your real life. The people who take action on what they feel in this moment are the ones who look back months from now completely transformed. The ones who don't, keep looking for the same answers. Everything you need is waiting for you right below this video.